they've got a pretty strong Rotary game.
Anna, will you be visiting any of the other local clubs besides for Corville and our club?
I don't think so as yet.
Yeah.
We have these two, but the campaign goes to the end of February, so we may visit the other clubs. Well, like visit, you know, show up at their respective Zooms.
Great. So great to see everyone. Just a reminder to sign in the chat button, and we'll get started here in a couple minutes.
Oh, sure, sign in the chat button.
I see Alex Taylor on the call. Alex, great to see you.
Nice to see you too, Eric. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. This COVID
Hi,
thing,
Alex.
we're all kept in our cages. Hello, everybody.
Yep.
Welcome, Harriet Nemhart.
Well, thank you so much. Who was just speaking?
It's Kelly Drown. So nice to see you.
Oh, hi, Kelly. Thank you so much
Hi.
for the welcome. I was just adding to the chat that I'm here as a guest of Julie Zerwig's today.
Wonderful. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Well, I think we'll go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to our Iowa City Noon Rotary meeting. My name is Eric Weiler. For those of you who are with us every week, you might be wondering, where is President Barb Thomas at? Barb's husband is having knee replacement surgery. So as we speak, Barb is in the hospital waiting room. So please extend your thoughts to Barb and her husband. Barb hopes to be back with us here in a few weeks. And we like to start each Rotary meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could please unmute yourself and stand if you are able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one
nation,
nation,
God,
God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Hey.
Great. We have some exciting news to kick off our Rotary meeting. Rotarian Devin Van Holstein, who we all know, his wife gave birth to twin girls last Thursday.
Aw.
And we have a few pictures there. And the two girls are named Eloise and Chloe. So Eloise and Chloe, we welcome you. And Devin, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, for some of you who know, I think he already has two other children. So he has four total now.
He does.
So Devin is going to be taking some time off for Rotary to be with his family for a few weeks. So I want to do a special thank you to Kelly Drown for filling in while Devin is out. And we also want to thank Tara Minetos for helping us take attendance as well. And we like to start each meeting. I think all of us are getting more and more familiar with Zoom, but there's still little things with Zoom that we can all use as refreshers. So I'd like to turn it over to Kelly for a minute or two to provide some Zoom tips for us today. Kelly?
Thank you, Eric. And again, thanks for joining. So I didn't have to call the audible. I appreciate that. So yes, as you will see, we're all, you have options. One is you can view as a gallery, which especially in this type of environment before the presentation starts is lovely because you're able to say hello and see everyone on. Once the presentation starts, it's recommended that you actually go to speaker view. That will give you a much more in-tuned picture of the speaker. And if you have the latest version of Zoom, you are able to control how much of the presentation you are able to see by sliding to the left or to the right. So you also have that option. Also a friendly reminder just to please mute your microphone. That just allows for less background noise. If everyone can take a second and do that, that would be wonderful. And then also you will have an opportunity to raise your hand when you have a guest, and I will call on you. And then after the presentation, might be a little bit different today with our trivia, but should you have questions after the presentation, we will also ask you to raise your hand there and we will call on you. You can find the participation raise hand option. If you go to the participants tab and click on it, you will get an option to raise your hand. So again, thank you and welcome, and I will turn it back over to Eric.
Great. Well, thank you, Kelly. Now is a great time for you to use your Zoom skills. As Kelly mentioned, if you are a visiting Rotarian or a guest, please go in the participant section and click raise hand, and Kelly will help call on you. We'd love to know who you are and what organization you're with. So Kelly, do we have any visitors or guests today?
We do. So first, Tom Seelig mentioned that he does have a visitor.
I think I've got more than one. I think John Moyers should be on the Zoom, as well as Catherine Moyers. They are longtime friends and community leaders, and they are also today are the parents of Anna Moyerstone. And it's possible that my wife Mary Seelig's on the Zoom call too.
Great.
So they're my guests.
John and Catherine, would you want to unmute and say hello? All right.
Sorry, they're super new to Zooming, and
No
they're
problem. Well,
um,
welcome.
so those are
and,
my parents. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. All right, and let's see if anyone. Let's see, and you had one other person, Tom.
Well, my wife Mary Seelig might be on too. I don't know if she zoomed in or not, but
Okay, perfect. Well, we will move on. Julie Zurich, she has a guest.
Yes, I'm really pleased to bring along as my guest today, Harriet Nemhart, who is the new College of Engineering Dean, and she is also new to Iowa. We'll be introducing her today, but as a matter of fact, she's going to be an upcoming speaker, I think, in January.
Wonderful. Harriet, do you want to unmute and say hello?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again, Julie, for the invitation for this group. I'm really looking forward to getting to know the members, the Rotarians, better. I have been in academia now for 26 years. I did my PhD in industrial engineering at the University of Michigan and have been a part of the leadership team here at Iowa since July 1st. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity to get to know people in the community and look forward to working with you in the future.
Wonderful. Welcome again. Thanks for joining us. All right, Alex Taylor, it looks like you have a visitor.
I think I am a visitor.
Oh, you are
Yes,
a
my
visitor.
status has changed. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm with Trail of Johnson County, amongst other things.
welcome. Well, thanks for, I guess you seem like a regular, so welcome for joining us today. All right, and let's see, to Shaylin.
Hey everyone, I'm Tashaylin Harrington from Shelter House. I'm, as always, a guest of Barb, who's not here today, but it's good to be here today.
Thank you so much. You can be a guest of mine. Welcome. All right, Ryan Bell.
Yes, hello. I've got several guests to introduce. Jeffrey Dancer is back to join us. Jesus Garcia, who was here last week, has joined us again, and he has a strong interest in learning more about Rotary and has even asked about the membership question, so that's a good thing. And then 3 United Way cabinet members who are not Rotarians that I wanted to introduce real quickly that I believe are on. I saw Dan Clay. He is the Dean of College of Education at the U of I. I believe Allison Ames Gallstad is on. She is the library director at the Coralville Public Library. And I did just see Tiffany Shaw jump in. She is the Executive Vice President and COO for the UI Center for Advancement. So thanks for joining, everybody.
Great, welcome, and thanks for joining, everyone. And we are Dean heavy today. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that is it, Eric. So I will toss it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kelly, and a warm welcome to all of our guests and visitors today. We're a really friendly group. We do a lot of great work in our community, and we invite you to join us again in the future. We do have a few announcements today, and I'd like to start off by calling on Joe Hughes to give us a quick update on our Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign and bell ringing. So Joe?
Yeah, thank you, Eric. As everyone knows, this is a very weird year, and we debated whether even to offer bell ringing this year. And we'll just say that we had 3 brave souls sign up. So Ryan Bell and Vern Folkman and Tom Robinson made it out there, rung the bell. So kudos to those gentlemen. We also have a handful of Rotarians that donated. And if you can help us out, our campaign to just donate to the virtual kettle, which is specifically for our Rotary Club, goes through the end of the year. So I want to thank Brenda LaMarche and husband Wes, Sean McIntyre, Madeline Windauer, Tita Kaufman. They have all donated, and I'll post in the comments the link so that you can donate as well. And if you're part of the Salvation Army committee, don't worry, you didn't miss a meeting this year. We just went without. So thanks, everyone.
Great. Joe, I wanted to thank you for your leadership of this effort with the Salvation Army. I know for a lot of nonprofits, it's a tough fundraising year. So thanks to you and the other Rotarians who stepped up to support the Salvation Army this year.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to,
Just really quick, Anna Barker and Linda Farkas also have raised hands.
okay. I'd like to call on Vern Folkman real quick, just to give us a quick announcement about the Rotary Foundation. Vern?
Thank you, President-to-be Eric. I'm happy to give you a little bit of information about the Rotary Foundation. It's that time of the year, you know, when everybody's thinking about giving, and also, or maybe check giving at the last part of the year here to get it in on their tax purposes. So I would urge you, as chairman of the, as I am chairman of our foundation for our club here, I would be remiss not to speak to you about the opportunities for the Rotary Foundation. I know later we're going to hear about the United Way, and we don't want to take away from that either. But on the other hand, I want you to know what you can and can't not do. Mostly what you can do, I would urge you to think about, you can start with every Rotarian every year, which is $100. And that would be a great start for especially a lot of you new members. Or maybe it would be $1,000 to become a Paul Harris Fellow. Or if you're already a Paul Harris Fellow, you could commit to give $1,000 per year for 10 years to become a Paul Harris. So there's many of you that have reached that level. And then when you reach the 10,000 level of giving, you would become a major donor, which we do have quite a few of our club doing that also. So another way you can do is give to the Rotary Foundation in your will. And that's a really painless way, because once you're gone, you won't even know it. It'll be automatically coming to the Rotary Foundation. But you can start with as little as $1,000, or you can go up to whatever amount you want. If you go up to 10,000, then you became what we call a benefactor society member. And so that's another good way to keep Rotary in your will. And so I urge you to give us some thought on that. And if you need some help, we have a lot of attorneys in the club that would help you. Or specifically, I have a good friend, John Brown, who has been gracious enough to send out the Rotary minutes each month or each week to show what the money is being spent for. So John, we thank you for that effort. And he is also a tax advisor, so he'd be someone to turn to. He's got an office in Corville. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for listening, and please give if you can. And if you can't, we appreciate that also. Thank you.
Great. Vern, thanks for your work with the Rotary Foundation. And I think we all know the foundation does incredible work, not just locally, but throughout the United States and around the world. So thank you for everyone who supports that effort. Linda Farkas had an announcement today. Linda.
Thank you, Eric. These last few weeks, we've interviewed students that are juniors in high school for our Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, where they can go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Waukesha, Wisconsin, to a leadership camp every summer. And I am proud to announce that we have 30 students from West, City, and Liberty that have been selected to go. And out of those 30 students, our Rotary is paying for 25 of those students. And I would like to say that all in our area, we're sending 32 students. Now, to put that into perspective, an average Rotary sends usually 4. And because of our very wonderful donors, I can't tell you enough how much and how proud we are that we are able to send this many students. And so that is done for the year. And I'd like to thank our donors. I want to thank everybody who has worked so hard on our committee, because there's a ton of moving parts, and anybody that gets involved with this realizes that it's a lot of fun and it's so rewarding when you interview the students. My last comment, I would like to say 2 things. We couldn't do this without the AM Rotary and the Downtown Rotary, because their help on this is unbelievable. They're key in our success, all of our successes. So I want to thank them. Lastly, we got a wonderful letter from a counselor at Liberty High School, and I'd like to read it quickly. Thank you so much for supporting Liberty High School. I just spoke with B. Caskey. She's someone we selected, and she is so excited. We really appreciate the work and funds you put into this program. It is also important that you made this a smooth process in an unusual year. Now, she thought it was smooth. It was kind of wild behind the scenes. I would like to thank Barb Thomas. I wish she was on, President Barb, because she put the Zoom rooms together, because we had to do all these interviews by Zoom, and it was crazy. But this is from our wonderful partner at Liberty High School, and her name is Peggy Dolson. So I think you can see how far this reaches out and how much good we're doing in the community. So thank you all. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, and yeah, Linda, special thanks to you for your leadership. I know when Linda started on the committee, she was a committee of 1, and she's done an incredible job growing the RILA and World Affairs efforts. So thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Eric.
Yep. And now Kim Costco from the Iowa City Area Business Partnership had an announcement. Kim.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, on behalf of our Project Better Together initiative, I just want to let everyone know we're running an Adopt a Healthcare Worker campaign that goes through the end of the year here to really show our support for healthcare workers across Johnson County and for all that they've been doing for us this year. And you can both register a healthcare worker to receive kind of a note of thanks or a gift, or adopt one. We currently have 565 healthcare workers nominated and 420 adopters. So we do need more adopters. I'll put a link in the chat where you can sign up, and anything, whether it's a card, a small gift. You can also combine both shop local and supporting a healthcare worker together. And so anything you can do would be really helpful to show our appreciation. So I'll put that link in the chat. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Kim. And I just had one quick announcement. As most of you know, our Rotary Club knew that our nonprofits were really struggling this year with COVID and derecho. So we dipped into our Rotary reserves and we donated $30,000 to the Community Foundation of Johnson County. And we awarded those to about a dozen local nonprofit organizations who really needed our help. And one of our recipients of this funding was Trail of Johnson County. And I believe we have Bob Untitled, who's their new executive director, with us today to talk about what they're using our grant for and just to talk a little bit about their organization. So Bob, if hopefully you're on the call and you can say a few words about Trail of Johnson County.
Yeah, Eric, thanks very much. So Trail of Johnson County is a 4-year-old organization that has a profoundly strong board and a strong foundation that I'm walking into. It looks at the fact that currently persons 65 and older represent the fastest growing age group in Johnson County. There's just under 19,000 people of that age, and Trail partners with seniors to ensure that they can lengthen their independence at home, as well as providing social and educational opportunities for folks. I won't give a lengthy description of the organization beyond that, but just to say that we're here Susan Chulo, the current board chair, and Alex Taylor, next year's chair, myself, to say thank you very much for the financial support you've given us. $5,000 will help us next year to do outreach and subsidize memberships for low-income seniors, of which there's around 2,000 in the county. We're engaging a marketing company and we'll soon be doing a mailing to several hundred low-income seniors. And your support will help us support a number of folks over 65 to maintain their independence and have a better quality of life. Thanks very much.
Great. Thank you, Bob. We're excited to have you in the community. I first met Bob probably 12 years ago when he was at Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation. So great to see you again, Bob.
All right.
Yep. And we do have one final announcement from Anna Barker. Anna, could you please unmute yourself and provide your announcement?
Yes, I'm a guest. I'm a guest of John Canyon. He's not here today, so he asked me to introduce myself. And I actually brought a guest with me. That's why I'm making some strange hand movements. Look at this. It's our brand new Yorkie puppy. So he's enjoying this Rotary meeting.
Great. Well, great, Anna. We're glad you could join us. So thank you so much. You see kind of with all the announcements, all the great work that our club is doing in the community with the Salvation Army and Trail and the Community Foundation. So something we can be all be proud of as we approach year end and we think about gratitude and how we're really supporting our community. The next part of our program is our Rotary Moment of Gratitude and Positivity, which is always a great moment for us. And this morning we've got Tita Kaufman who's going to provide that for us. So Tita, if you could please.
Thank you, Eric. And thank you. Great to see so many friendly faces today. As we approach the end of this very troubling year, which changed our society in so many ways, we do need to pause and take stock of everything that has enriched our lives and kept our sanity. I'm grateful for my son and the rest of my family here and abroad, as many hours of video conversations we have had uplifted my spirits. And being able to share our successes, worries, and happy moments bring us together even more. Of course, we all miss the hugs, but thankfully all are well, healthy, and safe. At times like this, I'm even more grateful for my friends. Now when family is so distant and we're unable to be close to each other, my friends have become like my family. I'm thankful for these friendships and the close connections that we have. And as most of us know, technology has been the catalyst and the magic that has made our outside connections possible and beautiful. In addition to connecting to us friends and loved ones near and far, it has also helped nourish our souls, ease our pains. And as we grieve the hundreds of thousands who have died during the past 9 months, technology has allowed me to attend virtual religious services locally and abroad. And I have heard words of healing and inspiration that have helped me through the many months of high concern. Throughout the challenging year of social distance and days of seclusion for many of us, it has been the performing, the visual, and literary arts that have kept me connected, entertained, and emotionally at peace. The artist's talents and creative energy have given me that special connection to the spiritual, the beautiful, and all the joy that life has to offer. And it started with virtual lectures by museum curators, where I started more in-depth learning about many masterpieces in their collections. Virtual tours of museums have made me feel as if I was there in person. So the next time I visit them, I will have an even better appreciation. Ballet performance premieres have been absolutely fascinating, as every movement and ballet and artist expressions are magnified on the screen. And because choreographers are interviewed before the performances, I could actually feel the intent while watching the dancers. A virtual subscription to a ballet company in Philadelphia was the perfect birthday gift from my son. Musicians also transmit their emotions, skills, and artistry while performing. Excuse me, I lost the screen. while performing, and I have watched uplifting concerts during this past few months. Music, like many of us, can be moved to tears, so I must include composers as well as gifted musicians in my appreciation. And writers, well, they make me live their stories through their masterful books and poems, and they allow me to escape my living room, so thank you to them as well. My one last item of gratitude is for living in a country where democracy is lived every day, where a constitution is respected, and where everyone has a voice. I have lived and traveled in countries where citizens do not have those benefits, and where they live with daily uncertainty and in some cases even danger. I'm thankful to the United States for accepting me as a citizen in 1989, where my family and I have enjoyed freedoms that so many in the world live without. And now, as 2021 is approaching, I encourage you to embrace a future of health and prosperity, a future where we can travel, visit, and hug all our loved ones without fearing of anybody getting sick, and where we can once again engage fully in the life of our community and do the good work of improving the lives of others as we Rotarians know how to do best. So in closing, I wish you a happy and blessed holiday season and a very bright new year. So cheers to all.
Sure.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much for that moment of gratitude and positivity. We recruit a Rotarian every week to share their moment with us, and it's become a favorite of our meetings. So thank you for doing that today. On to the program now. Our program today is going to be Rotary Service Above Self Trivia with United Way. And our speakers are going to be fellow Rotarians, Anna Moyer-Stone and Ryan Bell. And most of you already know Anna and Ryan well, but I asked them to provide an introduction, and we've just got a brief introduction here. We've added some humor to it as well too, so hopefully you'll appreciate it. So Anna and Ryan were very nervous that they were running out of things to do last spring. It seemed that raising their families, working full-time, volunteering for Rotary, volunteering for their kids' respective schools and other nonprofits were not quite enough for them. Anna and Ryan decided that adding another iron to the fire was within the realm of possibility. So the duo was recruited as the 2020 United Way campaign co-chairs. Now, it has been a huge added challenge navigating these uncertain times, but they both claim no regrets in taking on this task. Building a stronger community is ultimately what both of them are all about. With that, I'll turn it over to Anna to get things started. Anna?
Thanks, Eric. And yes, he had asked for a bio for Ryan and me, and we were like, well, we'll throw something together. And yes, when we were recruited to be our campaign co-cheerleaders back in the spring, I didn't think, we were so naive, Ryan. We had no idea that the derecho was coming, that we would all be here this many months later. But here we are, and we are here with a trivia game for all of you. And for those of you who came a little bit early to the meeting today, you will know that we got a little dress rehearsal of this yesterday at the Coralville North Corridor Rotary. And I can just tell you that they regularly do Rotary trivia, so their Rotary game's pretty strong. But we've got some other trivia questions for you as well. And we are not going to do this like virtually through Zoom. So what I want you to do is take out your own like pencil and paper, or since you're at a computer, you can just use your computer and keep track of your answers yourself. So those are my opening comments. Ryan, over to you. And then I think Trisha from United Way is here as well, and she'll be running all of the slides for us.
Can I interrupt for just a minute? Before we get going with Ryan's intro, I just need to become the host so I can share my screen, please.
Oh. You should be able to. I've allowed you to share your screen, Trisha. Try it.
Thank you so much. And Ryan, take it away.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I feel like I've already been introduced, so let's just jump right on into things. And just to reiterate what Anna said, you know, we're so super proud to have even been asked to be in this position. We didn't know what sort of challenge we were walking into, like she said at the time, but it's been a pretty interesting last 9 or 10 months as we've really changed the way we've approached this typical campaign. This is the 101st year the United Way has done this in our community. So it's a model that's been proven over a lot of time, but we had to flip that on its head and just try to do things outside the box. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun today. We're gonna do some trivia, as we said. We're gonna tie that into some ways that the United Way does work for our community. And we're all gonna have a good time doing it. So let's get into that first slide, Tricia. So our 3 categories are the Wheel of Rotary, Happy Holidays, and our COVID Heroes. So some very timely categories here. Let's get into that first question, why don't we? All right, I'll take this one, Anna, and then you got the next one.
Okay.
So how many people attended the first Rotary meeting back in February of 1905? And don't worry, it's multiple choice. This is where you'll jot down what you think the answer is. And then because we're all Rotarians, we know that we can go by the honesty method of keeping track here. Not that there's any prizes or anything. So Tricia, let's unveil the answer here. Gary Pasha guessed 5 via the chat, but no, he is wrong just by a little, but 4 people were at that first meeting. And the way that sort of ties into United Way, if we can go to the next slide, is, you know, Anna and I have said it all throughout, but really we are the campaign co-cheerleaders. We do kind of the orchestration, we do some things like this, but really our cabinet is who gets it done for us. So we have about 20 members on our cabinet. I actually tallied them up last night. There's 19 members and 7 of those are Rotarians. So aside from Anna and I just wanted to mention the other Rotarians that are doing the heavy lifting on our campaign cabinet. Rebecca Needs, who I know couldn't be here today. Steve Quigley, former past president Steve. Aaron Schaefer, a longtime dedicated Rotarian. Joe Venz, and our own incoming president, Eric Weiler, are all hardworking members of the cabinet. So without them, we would fall flat on our face and not have any success whatsoever. So we owe a lot of the success to them. Anna?
Yep. Okay, so the next question is in the Happy Holidays category. And the question is, how many days of Kwanzaa are there? Again, this is multiple choice. So just, you know, write it down, put it in your, put it on your computer. 4, 6, 7, or 11 days of Kwanzaa. And I believe the answer is 7. There they are. Oh my gosh, 7. There they are. And in terms of keeping track of things, we also have some stats for you on the United Way. So here are some numbers for the United Way of that we have. So 1 in 4 adults has had trouble paying bills. 64% of people reported being concerned that their mental health would worsen during the pandemic. And for those of you who have been by the Coralville Food Pantry, they have registered 356 new households since the pandemic began in March, which is an increase of over 30%. So for those of you who have been by the Coralville Food Pantry, or really community, any of the other pantries, I think we have seen an increase in the services that are being requested, looked for from the United Way, especially this year.
So now we've got another trivia question. COVID Heroes is the category here. So tally up the workers that are at both Mercy and UI hospitals and clinics, and how many staff members run those two very very needed organizations right now. And the options are 15,000, I think, is the first one. They're coming. Okay, so 30,000, 25, 20, or 15,000 staff members combined between the two main hospitals. Everybody got their thought? The answer is 20,000. 20,000 heroes on our front lines who are tired and need a break. And I'm sure all of you on the call know and probably love somebody that's going through this battle right now. So that, and I agree with Kim Casco's announcement earlier. If you can adopt one of these healthcare workers, it will make their day. You know, it's just a really cool little extra thing that they dire need is there right now for sure. And the need is great too. I mean, there's no secret here that as derecho, as COVID has impacted just such a wider swath of our community, there are people that have never been impacted by hunger issues, by security issues, by paying their mortgage and being evicted type issues. So one thing United Way has done is right as the pandemic began, this Iowa 211 kind of an emergency response number was issued and put out there through all the communication that United Way has done to just make our community more aware of the impacts, the options for help. But 70,000 COVID-19 calls. So that started in March, and that's just a ton. That's a huge uptick in the need that's out there. So, if anybody can help and give to this organization or this campaign, it's gonna go right to the need of our community and what's really sprung up here over the last 9 or 10 months as far as additional need. Next trivia question for Anna.
This is another Rotary question. Are you ready? Oscar Bjorg standardized the Rotary wheel because, and we quote here, because we are workers and not idlers. So imagine the wheel. How many teeth, those little in the wheel, how many did he place on the wheel? So you've got a couple of answers, 32, 24, 40, or 18. Think about it, write it down, imagine the wheel. I believe the answer is 24. Yes, there's the Rotary wheel. You've committed it to your entire memory. And just as the Rotary wheel has many teeth, the United Way of Johnson and Washington counties partners with many agencies, over 24, as it turns out, in these three areas. 1, enhancing childhood literacy. 2, providing physical, mental, and emotional health services, and B, on building individual and family stability. So as you can see there's a bunch of the partner agencies. The United Way of Johnson and Washington counties invests over $2 million in each of these agencies every year, which is amazing, to provide the services in these counties every day. And as we have noted, the need is especially going up even this year. Next question, Ryan.
Happy holidays. All right, do more Americans get real or artificial trees? What do you guys think? That one obviously is technically multiple choice, but real or artificial? The answer is, kind of surprisingly, artificial. But there you have it. You can't argue with facts. So hopefully many of you got that one correct. And again, it just ties into some of the facts and figures of, what the pandemic has brought on and some of the local support that United Way has given. And again, just this disaster relief is a totally unbudgeted for an unknown, unplanned for, obviously, expense on the United Way's, overall budget. So, since March, again, all these extra households, tons of people have been impacted. They've given out over 5,000 face masks and shields, tons. Like I said, I think maybe the biggest benefit of what United Way has provided in all of this is communication, and not just forwarding information, but really thinking through what's important to our community and what people need to know. And Katie and Trisha and the whole team at United Way have done an awesome job at making us all aware of what's going on, how we should approach it, how to stay safe, all of those good things. So thank you to that team.
Okay, here's another COVID Heroes question that some of you may actually know. How many square miles does the Iowa City Community School District cover? So imagine the map in your head. 98, 150, 130, or 183. This is square miles that the ICCSD covers. And I think the answer is 130. So there's the map. So it goes all the way up North Coralville, North Liberty, all the way down to Hills. I can tell you that my daughter went to school today at the Iowa City Community School District, and it was like Christmas came early. It's the happiest day of our lives over here. But many thanks to, speaking of which, when I became a mother, I signed up to do a lot of things, like be the tooth fairy this week, for example. I didn't know I was also signing up to be my daughter's second grade teacher. So I don't know, in the words of Shonda Rhimes, I don't know how much these teachers get paid, but should be like $1 million a day, because I can tell you I'm a very bad second grade teacher. But many, many thanks to our teachers of all ages, of especially the second grade teachers, but for all of the grades. Many thanks to them. The people who work at the Iowa City Community School District, at Regina, at our other schools, who are helping teach our children, keep them safe. We can't thank those COVID heroes enough for everything that they do.
And COVID, but then came derecho. So we all know the impact of what that crazy 1 hour long storm had on both Johnson County for sure, but Lynn County especially, and the time, the place in between too, of Lake McBride Park and things like that. There are just a ton of trees down still damage being fixed, and the cost is crazy. And of course, as luck would have it, or bad luck would have it, the communities that were impacted the most by some of this loss of electricity and, damage to their neighborhoods were, minority communities and communities that have the greatest need. So this, again, came in early August and just sort of surprised everybody, but just forced, again, the United Way to reach into that reserve emergency fund and provide the help that was absolutely necessary at the time. There's just really no thinking about whether you are going to help in situations like this. It's just figuring out how you're gonna. So kudos to the United Way for, again, just being super agile and responsive in the face of a lot of challenge here over the last year. Let's do another trivia question, shall we? Yes, the Wheel of Rotary. So, what was the first country to have a Rotary Club that was outside of the United States? Is it our friends down south in Mexico, up north in Canada, or across the ponds in either England or Australia? What do we got? I feel like Canada, Winnipeg, beautiful Winnipeg. Both Anna and I have been to Winnipeg. I went there for spring break in college for weird, I don't know why for sure. I think
Ryan,
it was because
I feel like you just did spring break wrong. Like, I mean, it was like spring break Canada, like that. No,
we South Dakotans aren't the brightest. So we went where it was colder, but you could drink beer at 18. So that was a pretty nice draw.
okay.
So good job to anybody who wrote down Canada. You want to jump in with this one, Anna?
Yeah, and much as Canada is right next to us to the north, Washington County, as you might recall, is right next to Johnson County to the south. And in 2014, the United Way of Johnson County added Washington County. So now we have a service area that covers both counties, which just has made sense over the years. And because there's lots of people who may live in one and work in the other. And it's sort of expanded our ability to provide services across both counties. I think we now have another holidays one. Okay, what does the word Hanukkah mean? And don't scream it out if you know it, write it down. Dedication, lights, festival, or worship. Now, yes, it means dedication, which is lovely. Something I learned through this trivia, although my daughter has become very interested in Hanukkah. So maybe she'll get over it by the time Christmas comes around, but she's currently, wanting to switch religions. But dedication, what a lovely reminder this time of year. Especially since we've had to be dedicated in ways that perhaps we didn't anticipate. But really, the United Way of Johnson and Washington Counties, this is the team. They all still look like that, I super promise. And this team is as dedicated as they come. They are here to help support you, our communities, our neighbors. And I can tell you from working with the whole team at the United Way of Johnson and Washington Counties, they are wonderful to work with. They get things before you need them. They're responsive, helpful. And as Ryan pointed out, we've had to pivot a few more times than anticipated this year, and they have been there the whole time. So many thanks to them as well.
All right, another COVID Heroes trivia question. This one is a tricky one. So a cohesive and organized public administration was first envisioned by whom? We got to say the first person because the choices here might throw you off. So I believe that's Jeff Fruin, a member of our club, Kelly Hayworth, Ryan Heyer, and all three members of our club, actually. I looked that up this morning. And Hippodamus. So who came up with the vision to have a cohesive and organized public administration? Yeah, unfortunately, our guys are very learned in some of the experiences and thoughts that Hippodamus put out, but he was the first. Luckily, we've got a crew of very capable folks running our, kind of our public administrations and our cities right now. So there's a shot of the three of them, all Rotarians of our club. And really, the power of United Way, the power of Rotary, we're preaching to the choir here. We know this. Everybody, on this call is probably nodding in agreement that the need is great. There's probably a lot of people I know there are a lot of folks that have given to United Way campaigns this year and previous. And that's what it's all about. It's that, many hands make light work sort of attitude that, the United Way is able to do. And the real benefit of that team that Anna just talked about is they're plugged into all these 30 partner agencies that all have very different needs. And the team at United Way is able to make sure there's not, a lot of overlap. There's not waste. There is a true need for dollars that go to these organizations. And then they hold those organizations accountable too. to make sure that, you know, funds raised and given out to, say, Habitat for Humanity or Big Brothers Big Sisters or what have you, are used in the appropriate way, and they have to reapply every year to maintain their status as a partner agency. So there's a lot of you know, kind of teeth to what the United Way does as far as, you know, helping rise all boats here in our community. So thank you all in advance for what you've done in the past or what you do in the future to help support.
I should also take this time. There's these t-shirts that are still available. You too can buy a t-shirt, and that's an easy way to give to the United Way this year. This is my favorite.
Tara Manetos has one on.
Oh my
She's
God,
cool.
yeah, they're a nice t-shirt. They're soft, they fit well. I mean, just from a fashion standpoint, I give them 2 thumbs up.
And I'll just, on that t-shirt thread, Anna, thank you, but they're also in limited supply. You can't just go out to some website and get one of these t-shirts anymore. There's a lot steeper demand for them. In fact, in my laundry room where I'm standing, I believe I hold the last 50 of them. So if any of these fellow Rotarians would like a t-shirt that supports United Way, email me or send me a chat or a text or what have you, and I'll let you know what sizes I have available. Good segue, Anna.
Thank you. Ryan and I are in sales, can you tell? The Wheel of Rotary, this is my favorite question. I'm so glad I get to ask it. What was the first Rotary Club community project? Now, I know many of you have been involved in our local Rotary Club projects, but what was the very first Rotary Club community project? A poorhouse, a soup kitchen, a comfort station, or a widows and orphan shelter? Now the answer is really a comfort station, but that's a nice old-timey way of saying a bathroom for ladies. Apparently back in the day, public restrooms were only found in saloons that women couldn't go into by themselves. So they didn't have a place to like stop along the way. So thank goodness for Rotary for providing bathrooms. Because I mean, have you ever been to Chicago without stopping? Yeah, think about it. It's too far. So, which reminds us that was the first initiative of the local Rotary, but United Way of Johnson, Washington counties has its own initiatives. They've had these Connect pop-up events to help people get connected with local resources. And as we've noted, there have been more people who have needed these services and resources during the pandemic. We have the Reading Buddies program. So that helps ensure childhood literacy. We have had a holiday adopt a family program. This year, we have 102 families in that program. I'm doing math, that's 58 more families than we served last year in 2019. There is a beautiful picture here of Ryan Bell and Margaret Reese delivering lunches this spring to some of our frontline workers, those COVID heroes that we talked about before. And we provide literacy kits as well for children, as well as the Mask Up project to provide masks to as many people as possible. So there are a lot of things that come out of the United Way, and even new programs and new initiatives even this year, just to respond to the many things that have come up.
All right, another happy holidays trivia question. Which department store was featured in the film Miracle on 34th Street? Anybody know it without seeing the choices? I bet some do.
Macy's.
Oh, was that Bill Easton?
It is.
Nice.
They use Macy's.
All right. Well, that is correct.
Everybody knew that. Everyone knew that. Come on.
Fine. We had to throw one softball out there just for you, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, what is the number 10? I finally got one.
Nice. Good job.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin it for everyone.
No, that's great. But, you know, again, it's a strength in numbers sort of thing. This this slide shows some of the supporters from little tiny companies like mine to big banks and, you know, the company that gives us all of our power and energy in town. So, you know, there's all levels of way to get involved with United Way, which is a huge draw for me. You can, you know, if you're fresh out of college and just starting your professional career, there are tons of volunteer opportunities through United Way. And it's a cool way to, you know, in normal times, sort of get connected with the community that you're living in and working in, and you know, just put down stronger roots. And so all the way on up to obviously financial support that some of these larger companies provide. But it's just you know, it's an intermeshed network of support, really, you know, from the schools to the for-profit companies, and then trickling that into the nonprofit world. So do we have one more trivia? Yes, COVID heroes. We may have more trivia questions. I struggle to keep up sometimes. Okay, what year did the Downtown Iowa City organization rebrand into the Iowa City Downtown District? I don't know if Nancy Bird is on this call, but she is a club member and she probably knows the answer to this, as do most of you. Bill Easton, I bet you know this. What is our answer, Tricia? 2012. It's only been 8 years, but look at what they've done as far as kind of a collective organization down there. Really revitalized the space and made it a more approachable ped mall for all.
This is our pitch at the end. I know you get through a whole Rotary meeting without being asked for money. You were wrong. This is our final gift, to you at the end. One extra gift, if you go to United Way, jwc.org. Shop local, shop United Way. It's our Joy Finds a Way program. It is a way to provide a gift, family, friends, whatever. Charitable donations make a great gift for everyone on your list. You don't have to send them anything. They don't have to set aside their mail and then like wipe it off before they open it. Friends, colleagues, neighbors, think of the people that you care about and give them something that really makes a difference. And it's a donation to the United Way. And they'll also get, I mean, I just told they don't have anything to open, but you can get you can get a document to print or something to share with them so that they know that you made a donation that's tax deductible, by the way, in their name. Oh, and Bill Easton, thank you for putting the URL in the chat. So I believe there were 12 questions. Did anyone get all 12 right?
Anybody? That would be impressive.
11, 10.
Did anybody keep track? Well, we know we are running out of time here. And being the responsible Rotarians that we are, we know how our club likes to finish on time. Aaron Schaefer only got 5. Jeez, sorry, buddy. But there's always next year.
Great. Well, hey, Ryan and Anna, thanks so much for the entertaining program today, and a shout out to Tricia Smith for her work advancing the slides behind the scenes. And Anna, I know your parents are on the call, so I want to say from all of us in Rotary Club, we really enjoy having you in our Rotary Club. So I'm sure your parents are proud of you. And
Thank you.
Yes, Ryan and Anna, kind of in honor of your presentation today, Rotary is going to make a donation to the Rotary International Polio Plus program. And that donation is matched 2-to-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So that donation will provide 70 polio vaccinations around the world. So it's one thing we like to do for all of our speakers. Final reminders, we have no program next week, which is Christmas Eve. We hope everyone has a great Christmas holiday. Join us back here again in 2 weeks on New Year's Eve. So Thursday, December 31st, we're having a special program, and Rotarian Aaron Schaefer is going to have some musical entertainment for us. And we like to conclude every meeting with the Rotary four-way test. So if you could please join me in that. Of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
The truth?
Is it
Is it
fair
fair
to all
to all
concerned?
concerned?
Will
Will
it build goodwill and build
friendships?
Will
it be beneficial
to all concerned? Great meeting, everyone. Our guests come and join us again in the future, and hope everyone has a great Christmas, and we'll see you on New Year's Eve for a great meeting. Thank you, guys.
Bye, thank you.
Yep. Kelly, thank you.
Yeah, nice job, guys.
Yeah,
Great
Kelly,
job.
you did it.
75 people. Yeah, great turnout today. I was watching the participant button.
Yeah, great
Nice.
job, Eric.
I had a dental appointment, so I made Kelly sweat a little bit. Shame on me, I've got 2 cavities, so it took a little longer. So I got back about 3 minutes before we started the meeting, but we got through it. So
Yeah, just Ryan and Anna trivia just would have started a little sooner. Yeah.
yes.
No, Eric, it did turn out fine, but about at 11:54, Kelly was like, "It's fine. It's just,
Yeah, I'm good.
I was like,
funny.
"We'll be okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of announcements today. There was a lot of activity. So.